Hello, guys, and welcome back to our podcast. And by the way, this is episode 6 of our Rewired series. In today's podcast, I would like to talk about the things that somehow most of us always aim, but unconsciously um, we always struggle with. I know all of the things that we've been doing is for this one thing, that is to find happiness, right? We do the things we are doing right now because we want to be happy. That's the most bottom line, I should say. As human beings, why we are doing what we are doing right now. We are having our job because we want to pay the bills, right? In order for us to live comfortably our with our current status in life, right? We want to live comfortably with our family because the main point is for us to become happy, right? So actually, I know, um, happiness sometimes for other people is something like impossible, because all of us we have our own different scenarios, right? We have our own different situations. We have our own different problems. We're dealing with different problems every day, and when we say happiness is a choice, because it is indeed a choice for all of us. I know for some people it's kind of difficult, and for sure they will disagree to the statement, because as for them, happiness is not really a choice. It's just a matter of our uh, I should say it's subjective. That statement is subjective. However, there is really a reality to it if we just look it clearly, right? Because people who are dealing with big problems, they're often confused. Their minds are often clouded. That's why they cannot see the other side. It's the same for me, actually. I'm speaking this one out of experience, okay? I'm not pointing people that I know, but what I mostly share in this podcast are coming from my own personal experience. I know we have different experiences, but I can totally agree to the statement that happiness is a choice, I should say. Because the first thing, um what struck me the most is when I saw that video on TikTok wherein it was a lady who had an audition on, I guess, from America's Got Talent, if I'm not mistaken. She got a golden voice. I mean golden buzzer. She got a golden buzzer, and her voice was golden. She had a beautiful, a very um heavenly voice, I should say. And actually, as for that moment, uh before she sang the beautiful song that she created, she shared to the judges that she has a cancer, and we can tell that she suffered so far. She suffered heavily. It really affected her whole life. But there was one thing that she mentioned. She was happy because she decided to become happy. She didn't let the cancer take away the years that she should be happy. That's what she said. So that thing really struck me the most, because we human beings sometimes, um, we are not comfortable living, right? We have plenty of problems. We should say we are not satisfied, and we have different outlook wherein we can say happiness is this thing, happiness is that thing, happiness is having a big house, happiness is something like having a car, happiness is having a big following, something like that, right? But as for that lady that sang the song, or who took her, I guess that was a presentation already. I mean, I don't know if she was one of the contestants, but I just saw it on TikTok though. She sang the song, but before she sang the beautiful song she created in front of the judges, she told her story and that she was suffering with cancer, and I can tell that her life is really shortened already. Maybe she's about to because what I heard, the lady is already passed away. Yeah, she already died of that cancer, but her message really echoed to many people because she doesn't want to spend the rest of her life living in sadness, not experiencing good memories with her friends, with her family, not experiencing happiness. That's why. So she decided happiness for herself. And I believe she died without any regrets, I should say. So, how about us? What's the main lesson for that story from the lady uh, from that lady who had her presentation in America's Got Talent? So, the main point I should say is happiness is a choice indeed. I know it's easier than done. It's easier said than being done, I mean. But I guess we are to ask ourselves, when should we become happy? I guess that's the main question. And the answer for that one is always subjective, I should say, because happiness is always something that we decide upon ourselves. But I should say, if there is at least one thing you can look into your life that somehow you are grateful with, at least one thing, I should say, you have the choice to become happy, my friend. All right, so that's the end of my message for today. I know it's already 7 minutes, and by the way, I just created my own website, so you can visit it at cprotx.com. And somehow I also have my TikTok, I also have my Instagram. However, I just love creating contents here on Spotify with my podcast. I know my English is not really that good, but I'm trying my best. This is also some sort of a training for myself because I want to improve my communication skills and I want to share my message to the whole world, and somehow I want to have something that can help me remember of what I have experienced so far, as well as to help me remember the lessons that I learned along the way in this lifetime. I want to grow old wherein I'm going still to listen to my podcast. That's why I have this thing, right? So if it so happens that you're listening to my podcast, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your support to me for following my podcast, and somehow feel free to interact because my channels are open actually. Most of my audience are coming from the Philippines and from the US. That's why for Filipino people out there, um, yeah, thank you for your patience. And for my American friends out there, my listeners, thank you for listening. I just hope you can understand what I am talking about because English really is not my main language. I am a Filipino, by the way. So I just love talking, actually. I just want to talk to people. Sometimes I feel shy, but sometimes, most of the time, I like talking. I want to share my outlook as well as my views in life and the lessons that I learned along the way. I guess there's no more announcements to make. Expect my another podcast episode next Saturday. Um, I just hope you will have all a great day ahead, and always remember, happiness is your choice. Goodbye for now. Bye bye.